like to listen to interviews of Teddy Hart. It's the perfect mix of weed, wrestling, and cats. I would be grateful if you could answer at least one of my two questions, if not both.
Okay.
Firstly, do you think that Teddy was good enough at any time to have done more in his career? For example, have a run in the WWE? He certainly talks a good game living in the UK. I guess that there was supposed to be a comma there, and there isn't. Living in the UK, I haven't seen much of him other than YouTube. So let's go to this first question.
Athletically, and I just saw Teddy Hart, believe it or not, at the Global Force TNA Impact Anthem Rest, whatever. I saw him at the taping in August. He had stopped by and was visiting with people, and I didn't recognize him because I hadn't seen him in about 15 years before that. But he came up and said hello, and we talked. Athletically, he was one of the standout guys in the business 10 or 12 years ago, as far as just his athletics. I don't want to start a fight with Teddy, but I think the problem is he's crazy. With the cats and with all the other stuff he's said and done, I haven't manufactured any of this. I'm just, reporting what I've seen and heard. He never had the mental aspect of what it was that, was going on. But he was an amazing athlete, not great size, but, and it may have worked against him, back then. Now it's not really a big deal, but, athletically he was great and his shit looked good. It just, the only major interaction that I've had with Teddy Hart at a wrestling event, actually possibly the only interaction, because I haven't been around him that much, was when I was trying to hold Samoa Joe back from breaking his fucking neck in New Jersey for a Ring of Honor show back in like 2005. The moonsault off the cage. You remember that? Oh,
that's right. You were there. Well, it wasn't just one moonsault off the cage. It was like...
Well, yeah. Well, just for anybody who might not know this story, they have this cage match in Ring of Honor. Teddy Hart's involved. And the match is over. Whatever happened, I can't remember. But Teddy, and I'm watching this, he climbs to the top of this very high cage. I mean, it was a high cage. It was about twice as high as the old, 8-foot Crockett cage. So it's a 15-foot high cage. He climbs to the top of the cage, stands up in the middle of the side, one of the sides, right on top of the cage, and jumps and does a backflip off the top of the cage and lands right in the middle of the ring on his feet. Stuck it. Perfect. One of if it was the Olympics, they'd give him a 10. And the place went ballistic. It was an amazing thing. I've never seen anything like that. And they're just, they roar. Then he climbs up to the next side of the cage, gets on top of it, and does the same thing and sticks it perfectly. And the people, big applause, right? Yeah, goddamn it. Wait, proved he can do it again. Then he goes to the third side, climbs up, does it again, sticks it again. And now the people are like, yeah, boy, he's good at that. Then he goes to the fourth side. Now, not only has he wrestled this long cage match, but also he's pumped up and he's done these 3 incredible fucking flips. And as he gets up to the fourth side, talk about coughing or sneezing, he starts puking. Because, when you add that much exertion and everything, he's puking, right? But he's puking over the side of the cage onto the ringside area. Not only around ringside, but I think it was going far enough. It could have got somebody in the front row. So he realizes this. So he turns around and pukes inside the ring from 15 feet up. And this is not the last match of the night, folks. So he's puking in the ring. Then he goes ahead and does the backflip again and sticks it again the fourth time. And now the people are like, would you please fucking go? He got over more than with that one move, the first move, he got over. It was the thing of the night. If he just quit right there, people would have gone home remembering that was the most incredible thing we've ever seen. But then he showed him he could do it again. Then he showed him he could do it a third time. Then finally, even after puking, he can do it. So now it ain't no big deal, right? And now they're tired of it. Leave. We've seen you flip. We've seen you puke. But guess who was in the match after him? Samoa Joe, who was not anxious to roll around in Teddy Hart's puke. and he's fucking hot. And he's going after the fucking guy. And Gabe Sapolsky he was still there, and he's screaming, "Get him out of here! Get him out of here!" to Teddy Hart. "Get him the fuck out of here!" And I'm holding Joe, going like, "Joe, don't kill him! Don't kill him!" And it was like, I've never seen a situation where in the space of like 2 minutes time, a guy got over as stronger than anybody else on the show with the fans. And then by the time that 2 minutes was over, not only was no longer over with the fans, but one or more of the boys wanted to kill him. It was amazing.
Didn't he that night, though, go off the top of the cage to the floor? And like there were a bunch of wrestlers there. They did not expect him to do that. And he just kept jumping on them.
I can't remember everything because I didn't watch all of it. And you, as you can see, it's not like, fucking Starrcade 83 cage match main event where I would remember, whatever. It was just one of those things, but that's what I remember at the last of it there.
Well, here's Dave's second part of the question. My main question is about a recent interview I watched where Teddy basically called out Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels for being dumb. From what I remember, he thought they had both not been so arrogant and this is phrased so fucking badly.
Had they not been so arrogant, let me try to reread this, and I'm just reading this guy's mind.
Yeah, had they not been so arrogant and on their high horse, they could be in a position today where they could almost run the WWE. Having worked with both of them, is this a view that you share?
Well, for one thing, my God, the amount of money that either one of them has made dwarfs any amount of money that anybody has ever made put together that Teddy Hart knows personally. And secondly, isn't that who would want to run the WWE? Isn't that the whole idea of making a lot of money in the wrestling business? So now that it's all fallen to shit, you can get away from the wrestling business? Why would it? That I've never understood why Vince still goes to fucking work. He's a billionaire. Well, I understand because it's psychological and but he's a billionaire and he's 70-something years old. I would have a 200-acre private island next to Hawaii where nobody would ever see my fat ass again if I had Vince McMahon's money. So I don't understand that whole thing. But no, Shawn Michaels, say what you want about him. It was, the greatest performer in ring of the 90s. Say what you want about him personally. And Bret Hart was a top level performer in this industry for 20 years or however long his career lasted until he had to retire. And they both made a shit ton of money. And, Teddy, sorry. And like I said, and who would want to run the WWE? Because then you'd have to fucking watch wrestling every fucking day of your life, which is why I don't want to run anything.